Well, we've been talking off air, Carl. It's just, it is so distressing. I don't feel like I've ever seen a more awful crop of candidates than the Republicans have this year. I mean, from puppy killing to domestic violence to paying for abortions when you're, pro-life, quote unquote, with no exceptions. I mean, I don't know how they could have come up with a more awful slate. And it just seems like we were saying in many places, it's still going to be close. And I guess we've gotten so tribal but it just seems like, as we were saying, they said on Nicole Wallace, there's no bar anymore,
Right.
she was, I mean, I blame Trump. But I think that's what this was in what's the book that I shall not name. Don't buy this stupid book. Trump appeared to be ushering in a new era of behavior, real and expected from politicians, his relativism seeping into the national fabric. I said that Walker had a complicated personal history, namely accusations of assault against women. I love how that seemed to be no big deal until anyway, I don't know where we are. That worried other Republicans. He does, but do you know that it's a personal history that 10 years ago, maybe it would have been a problem? Trump said 20 years ago would have been a bigger problem. I don't think it's a problem today. Trump said, why is that, I asked. Why do you think that's changed? Because the world's changing, he said. He didn't acknowledge that it was changing because he helped change it. I mean, is the bar forever low for Republicans now?
There is no bar. Not that any of them could get under it, but they're certainly trying. And, I think that's the problem here. When Trump famously said that he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and his people would still be with him, he wasn't just talking about himself. He was talking about the people he backs, too.
Yeah, like the Dr. Oz thing. You're just, I don't know, torture and kill a bunch of puppies. I mean, it used to be like a joke. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, what would you have to do to not get elected? The Herschel Walker thing. I mean, these Republican defensive, Carl, hang on one second. It was known, Georgia Republicans knew of all these allegations, obviously. One GOP strategist said it should come as no surprise someone of Walker's background would have been spreading his seed. I don't even know what that means. It's like, let's see, months before the news broke alleging Walker paid for an abortion, top Republicans in the state, including those advising his team, warned him that the story could torpedo his campaign. The abortion issue was well known within
that the story that he says isn't true could
yes,
torpedo his
yes,
campaign?
yes, right. And the election issue was well known within the state even before reporters began inquiring about it. I mean, but as we were saying, I guess Dana Loesch is one of the people that said the quiet part out loud. I don't care. I don't care what he did. We just want the Senate.
Of course they don't care. This has always been about winning at any cost to them. This is how they, dropped whatever they believed before for Donald Trump and just completely adopted his, party of me mentality.
Travis says this, debate will never happen with him and Raphael Warnock. I mean, I can't imagine him showing up. But
even if he does show up, could you call it a debate?
Has any reporter asked him, you and your party think the penalty, that this is murder? Why should you not be going to prison for murder? You're the one that says that you are an accessory to murder, and anyone that is engaged in this is a murderer, right?
Well, he says he didn't do it, and
sure,
that card could be anything, that check could be anything, even if it is timed perfectly for when the procedure took place.
Yes, I willy-nilly send lots of people several $100s and cards. That's what he said.
Which sounds a lot like Trump talking about his charity.
Yep.
If you ask me.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if anybody actually comes forward and says, "Oh yeah, he helped me." But end of the day, I mean, this is already a guy who is, struggling to have even the most basic conversations with reporters and voters.
Yeah.
It's not surprising that he's having trouble talking his way through this or being honest. About what happened. But you're right. Look at these candidates all over the country. Look at what Ron Johnson said in Wisconsin, that women can leave Wisconsin if they don't like abortion bans. So even the folks who are in office are nuts.
Yeah. Well, but this also, could you take Oregon out? I know it's very sore from
again.
Really been in and out, but just the wrapping yourself in God right? And I guess this started with Trump. They were saying, like, they know what a dirtbag, an amoral, unchristian dirtbag of the highest order Donald Trump is. But they got what they wanted, 3 Supreme Court justices to take all other women's rights away, right? I mean, it's...
Right, and I actually think that Republican base voters are not so much interested in candidates wrapping themselves in God. They're actually more interested in them wrapping themselves in their orange idol.
Right.
They're more interested in people who will do what Trump does, how Trump does, than they are with anything doing with religion. Trump is their religion now.
Right. Well, we were talking about the Lauren Boebert race has, the Democrat is surging there, who is also, by the way,
What's his name?
Adam Frisch. I was saying, just
no
vote
relation.
for anyone named Frisch.
Yes.
This cycle.
No relation.
Someone said.
But I do like his font choice.
Yes. But so she's leading him by only 2 points now. And he said people want the circus to stop. I hope he's correct. He said, and the members and citizens of Colorado 3rd are looking for someone else besides Lauren Boebert and her mentor, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I say they're the leaders of the angertainment industry, and I think people are sick and tired of that. They want to focus on women's reproductive rights, getting inflation under control, making sure there's good funding for schools, especially in the rural parts of the district. God, Carl, I hope we get some degree of sanity back in this midterm. I mean, that's certainly a good sign.
It would certainly be nice.
Yeah.
It would certainly be nice. Look, the polls are going to be all over the place in the next, couple weeks. People are going to be, going back to their base, and things are going to tighten. But I think what's been interesting here is how much the Dobbs decision has moved voters generally. And I don't think that's going to change. I don't think people are going to move away from the candidates that they've gravitated towards because of that issue. And Democrats are smart to continue pressing it.
Well, when he was introduced, Frisch, I'm just going to take the opportunity to say Frisch as many times.
Okay.
If you're in Colorado, vote for Adam Frisch. Virginia, Karl Frisch. Okay. But, who was this? Katie Fang introduced him by saying, along with extremists like Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene, Boebert vaulting to national attention with a mix of aggressive trolling, anti-gay comments, and race baiting. That's exactly it. I mean, you have, Ron DeSantis. I mean, he's based everything he does is just some performative, don't say gay, shipping, kidnapping and shipping migrants, and ironically wearing the gayest boots that I've ever seen. Whatever that was.
Don't leave home without your galoshes.
Didn't it make you think, don't say gay, don't say gay, don't say he looks gay in those boots?
I mean, it's basically like watching all of them compete for the most thumbs up in a YouTube comment thread.
Yes.
That's how toxic it is.
They're like there for likes, right, and clicks. That's it. Yeah, I mean, so we're now, what are we? Less than 5 weeks out, right, from
Right.
Election Day. What do you, if you're, put your campaign strategist hat on again? Because I feel like, some of the polling, you're just like, oh my God, what is happening? Are people, are they going to start to pay more attention? Because I was saying yesterday, I don't understand how one person votes for a Republican on any issue. Right? They're taking away Social Security and Medicare. There is not one thing they're doing to help you or your family.
Well, in some respect, the conservative working class that votes Republican, some of them may know that they're going to lose things as a result. But if they can make the libs suck it, then, I think they're happy to do it. And that's unfortunate. I think the way you get those people back is generational. I don't think it's an immediate thing. And I think it's difficult to convince people who have made that calculus.
Yeah.
Polls are going to get tight. But I think we have a very good chance at picking up seats in the Senate, or maybe seat in the Senate. And we'll see what happens in the House. But we've seen a lot of movement in the suburbs since the Dobbs decision. And I would bet that's going to have a huge impact.
Yeah. Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, and I don't wonder if you feel like I know people have always underestimated this J6 thing. It's like, oh, it's all baked in the cake, blah blah blah. But I do think that's going to have, the more that comes out, that's going to have some impact. The hearing before the midterms. What do you think?
Yeah, and I also think it's having a big impact on Donald Trump in 2024. I think one of the reasons that you're seeing his numbers go down and down and down is because of all this stuff that comes out, whether it's January 6th or the Mar-a-Lago documents. I think all of that is having an impact, both to motivate our base, but also to keep independents mindful of what they have to expect if they vote for Republicans.
Yeah. I like someone just had Biden 2024. He's not a traitor.
Correct. Yeah.
Just
a long bumper sticker.
Yeah, elegant message. And plus Dark Brandon.
Dark
Brandon has arrived.
Just on this is a hot mic, so the audio is not the best.
This is President Biden on a hot mic yesterday. No one fucks with him. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to. Oh my God.
You did
I'm
it.
sorry. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, Carl. I'm sorry. You can give me detention, can't you? Even from a Virginia school
I'm not sure
board?
about that, but wow.
Yeah, sorry. Dark Brandon was, I just thought it was a mic drop moment because even Ron DeSantis had to compliment him, right?
Yeah.
Had to thank him and compliment him on. It seems like everything on their side is partisan, and I think he was talking to the mayor there, and the mayor said, "Yeah, you're right," because I think he's so. What's the word? Underestimated. I just think he's done on every provable metric an amazing job, and I don't know if you
Agreed.
think, I don't know if you think that's gonna, because that's the thing that people keep talking about.
I certainly think that his increased approval numbers are going to have an impact on the election.
Yeah.
People like to point at what happens in midterm elections and first-term presidencies. I don't think we can go by historical norms anymore. How many election cycles do we have to talk about things being unprecedented before we stop following those dictates?
Yeah. How often is Lizzo going to play a flute? That's going to clearly destroy your life.
I mean, I don't know about you, but all over right-wing Twitter, I've seen people for decades talking about that flute and how much it means to them.
Sure.
And how one day, if a wildly popular African-American entertainer of many talents who brings joy to millions, if they ever play it, then they will get very angry because they do know about that flute. And they're just waiting for that to happen.
Didn't all the woke, stupid issues on the right come full circle with, Ron DeSantis dressing like the green M&M? Because wasn't that also a controversy that we were desexualizing the green M&M?
He took away her F me boots.
Right. Okay. Well, Ron DeSantis borrowed them. So now we know what. At least that ends.
We know where they went.
That closes that circle. All right, Karl Frisch. It is mooksforkarl.com.
Yes.
Please do everything you get.
One last time.
Yeah.
2 more days. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do this. All right.
Polls close on Saturday.
Yes.
That's right.
I love you so much. I dropped an F-bomb on my O show. I risked my own FCC license for you, Karl.
Ow.